So let's have a quick lesson on Mr. Dowland's Midnight. This is probably one of his works written for the theater, and one of the things that you can do right off the bat is that you'll notice that the third string is tuned down to F sharp. So usually it's at G. So in order to go into Dowland's lute tuning, we have to tune the third string down, which will allow all those F sharps to be an open string, which is how the music was originally written and intended to be played, making it much easier on the guitar. So you can just play an F sharp and lower the third string until it matches that note. I like to check the open A and the A on the third fret. And so just remember, whenever you're reading something now, everything is up one fret. So G is here, G sharp is here, A is here, A sharp is here, and the F sharp is open. So instead of having to fret all those notes, you can have an open F sharp. So if you don't tune down, it makes the music much more difficult. But this puts us much closer to the Renaissance lute. Another great thing to do is to put a capo at the third fret, which essentially puts you into lute tuning as well. And it also kind of raises the pitch of the whole piece and adds a lot of charm to it. So it all kind of just adds a kind of a lighter touch to the guitar, but that's an optional thing to do. But if you want to experiment with it, go for it. There's not too much to say about this piece in terms of playing it. Play the bass notes with your thumb, the rest of the notes with your fingers. Alternate your right hand fingers at all times. It doesn't go so fast that you can't repeat on occasion, but just do your best to alternate. Remember that Dowland wrote a lot of vocal music and sang himself, right, with the lute. So one thing you want to make sure you do is practice the melody on its own in a very lyrical fashion. Practice that until it's nice and legato, shaped the way you would sing it, and just make sure that's all together. The only other pieces of advice that I really have is some editorial things, but also just in terms of your interpretation of the piece. One thing is be careful not to roll every chord. Even though it can be very tempting on the guitar to do that, I would avoid it sometimes just to solidify the beat a little bit. Just choose your rolled chords for expressive moments. Maybe you can ease into the piece with one. And end phrases with them for expressive effect, but there's no need to roll them every single time you hear them. In terms of editorial additions, bar 5, you'll notice there's a double B in the bass. The original has the second B down one octave, so one option is you could just leave out the first B in the bar. So instead of playing the B, just play the upper notes. Same thing at the next bar, upper notes only, and then play the second beat, B. But if you don't want to do that, don't worry. When I played it, I did play it. I just tried to underplay the first one a little bit, so you don't get too much of a feeling of repetition there. So that's just an editorial choice, but you can make the decision based on what you feel is right. Besides that, just go through, follow the fingerings, get used to the chord shapes, and create that legato melody as much as possible.